world champions and their emotional stories. An electric atmosphere. An unforgettable experience. Octagon.
Once again, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Octagon 84 is already in the books. What a night it has been. I have to say a lot of thanks to our fans, to everyone who participated in the first 3 events this year, because I have to say, 4 weeks in, 3 tournaments, 40,000 people in 3 arenas. That's incredible, and we are so grateful for that. And I'm here with the heroes of the prelims card of tonight. And I have to say, before we started, the 2 guys next to me, they proved the Valentine really has its magic. You guys just made a deal that you will train together with the kids. Is it right?
Yes, that's correct. We made a deal with Honza. I like him as a man, I like him as a fighter, and I know that he also trains children and young children, and I do the same thing in my gym. So we made a deal that we will do a camp together so that these people can spar together and they're welcome in our gyms. So that's what he did.
That's it. That's the magic about this sport, I will have to say. So now is the time for questions from our journalists. Yep, let's go.
Marian Čustr, Deník Sport. První otázka na...
The first question is for Fedor Fodor. What does it feel like coming back after such a long time and getting a win like this? Thank you for the question. It's a great feeling. I'm very happy I got this win. It was a hard-fought win. I think I was almost at the very bottom, but I felt beautiful there. You know, I proved myself, and I shut all the other people who were saying that I can no longer fight. I shut them up. I could prove to them that I can be a good coach and also be a good fighter. Did you feel any nostalgia about the times in the Octagon Challenge? Did you feel that when you were walking out? Were you nervous? Well, you know, people watch the first challenges on YouTube, and somebody just watched me on TV, so I was kind of nostalgic about that. I thought, wow, 10 years in Octagon? Since the first fights I had, it's amazing, and it's something to be proud of. I'm very proud of being here in Octagon still, and of where Octagon got all over these years. I really enjoyed it here. Thank you to everyone who's been with me during this journey. And I'm more nervous right now. I'm kind of afraid of maybe trying. But I was very focused when I was walking up, and it went the way I wanted it to. In the cage, you said that you had a new contract. So how often do you want to fight, and who would you like to fight? Well, I broke my hand, so that needs to heal first before I get another fight. But then I want to keep on fighting. What else would I do? I just want to keep on fighting. But I also have a responsibility for my guys. I want to prepare them well. I also want Robo to win at his upcoming fight. I'm really proud of us for working this hard and being able to do these huge things. Despite what many people thought, I think we proved that we love this sport, we love this. The next question is for Jan Široky. What did it feel like walking out with the arena standing up? Even at the last moments of your fight, you were still fighting hard. First of all, thank you for the question. It felt great. The preparation went well. We had many people from Fighting Club Ostrava. There were 5 fighters, and everybody was very responsible about their preparation. We had a almost family atmosphere there. We worked hard together. I really enjoyed it. over the years we know how to cut weight, we know how to train, we know how to prepare our strategies. Everything went well. The only thing that didn't was the end. It was only in the third round when I kind of realized what I was supposed to do, things that were working for me. But Fodor, he was working very well. But except for the very end, I enjoyed it. The atmosphere in the arena was amazing. Everybody was shouting loud. Once again, I want to thank the fans for the atmosphere they gave us here. I really enjoyed it. I'm still thinking about it right now. I'm still enjoying it. I'm sad about the result, of course. But, that's the way it goes. There are two fighters and only one can win. But once again, I respect František for taking this fight. He was really well prepared for it, and we made a huge fight. And even after the fight, we can talk to each other. We grabbed a beer together. And as I said, we agreed to do a camp together to show people that we can do this in an intelligent way. You don't have to keep cussing at each other or anything like that. You can still do it for the love for the sport. Thank you. Another question for Vašek Klimša. You were the favorite of this fight. Did you have any issues with that? It's only your third fight, but you were the favorite already. Well, it did do its part, even, working on my home turf. I only have had one octagon fight before. I had the film crew around me. I had a lot of attention. The local people, they really worked on me a little bit. I made some tactical errors and, I'm not making any excuses because the other guy was better today. It was my mistake. There's nothing I could add. It was my fault. He was better, but we keep on going. We'll see what happens next.
Honza Novák, jsem tady za MMA Shorties, s tím, že moje první otázka bude na dvojici.
My first question is for Klimša and Široký. You said that Fighting Club Ostrava had 5 fighters here. Maybe it's a question for your coaches, but did this limit you? Because when you have 5 fighters preparing for the same fight, could it be maybe more difficult for you as you're focusing on the other fighters and even for the coaches who have to keep juggling 5 different fighters during the night? I've had my fair share of fights, so I know how to focus on my own performance. And when Adam Havran lost the first fight, it really didn't affect me. I was still focusing just on myself. And I don't think that the preparation was extra difficult for the coaches or that it had an impact on the results. I think all of us prepared very, very well. There were no mistakes made, and there was no issues with coaches not having enough time for us. For me, it's the same. We had a lot of people in the dressing room. We were all prepared very, very well. But unfortunately, our performances just weren't good enough tonight. But it was just our personal mistakes. The coaches, they did well. They were with us whenever we needed them. We had a great team. We had a great preparation. But unfortunately, this was an unlucky day and only Jakub Batfalski got the win. Hey, but that happens. A question for František Fodor. We can see that there's a bandage on your hand. So what did the fight go like? Did you think that you will get the finish after the first round? But in the end, he actually withstood everything, something that maybe other fighters wouldn't. Yeah, first of all, that's really what I wanted to tell you. I felt so many opponents, when I hit them right, I knew it was all over. But with Jan, it wasn't like that. Robo Pukač told me, relax, keep calm. Even when I felt that I really hit him well, he was kind of wobbly on his hands. I hit him on the body too. But I think in the second round, my hand broke and I couldn't really keep it going, keep the energy going. But Jan, he was still kind of pushing forward. And he really surprised me because he was very creative in his game. He was kicking, he was taking it down to the ground. And I think we gave you a huge performance, and that's what matters.
I would like to ask Endrit Brajšory. Do you speak English? Okay, so you now proved that you are a real finisher. You've managed to finish several fights in Octagon. Who would you like to face next? Do you have some particular name on mind?
As I said before, like in the post-fight interview, first of all, I know Kozma is a legend and I don't want to be disrespectful towards him, but I'm in my prime and I don't want to waste time. I want to fight the biggest name possible, and I proved that in my last couple fights, I didn't get hit once. I went to this fight with just one arm. I will post a medical report. I completely cut off my tendon before the fight, 1 week before the fight, and still managed to win in 55 seconds. So yeah, as I said, he's a legend, but I have no time to waste and I want to fight the best.
Thank you. He will be here later, so let's see what he's got to say.
Julian MMA und Maske. Dann die Frage an Daniel Schorge, jetzt nach ein paar Stunden nach deinem Octagon.
A question for Daniel Schorge. A few hours after your debut, looking back at the fight, what are your thoughts about the atmosphere?
Die Emotion nach dem Kampf war mal unglaublich vor dem
The emotions after the fight are just incredible. It's incredible standing in front of 10 or 12,000 people, taking a fight on a short notice, just a couple days before the fight. It really wasn't easy for me, but the fight itself, it went the way it was supposed to. I think it was adequate to the time I had to prepare. And I, didn't have that much time. I had to get here as soon as possible. But now I'm feeling good and I'm looking forward to new challenges. What did you change compared to your previous fights? How were you preparing for this? When it comes to the media, the pictures taking place, the photos, it was more professional than what I was used to up till now. So that's probably the biggest difference. But when the cage closed and I started fighting, it was already just based on instinct. And now a question for Endrit Brajšory. You said that you wanted to see Kozma's fight, so what are you saying about that? Well, I wasn't really watching it all that well, but he got the win. I'm very happy about that. And as I said previously, this is a matchup that I would be interested in. I don't know what he's interested in, that's for him to say, but once again, I want to fight the best guys from the top 10. I have 4 finishes, and 2 in under 30 seconds even, 1 under 90 seconds, so I want to fight the best.
You make your Octagon debut tonight. What do you think of how the fight went, and you took no damage, so ideally would you like to fight maybe in 8 weeks in Poland, or is that too soon for you?
Hello everyone. Yeah, I don't take many damage, but it was a hard fight. It was exhausting fight and exhausting preparation to fight, so I don't know, maybe in April will be okay, maybe not. I need a rest. I need to rest 1 week maybe, and I will come back, prepare for next opponents.
And I know Joanna Jędrzejczyk is your manager. Have you gotten a chance to speak with her since your fight? Did she get a chance to watch, and what did she think of your performance?
Oh, I was talking with her about a few seconds after fight. She's in Mexico now, so when we can call and speak maybe little more, I will ask about my performance.
I'm going to go over to you, Brian. Just now, it's been a few hours. How is it all settling in, making the Octagon debut and representing Poland on a big platform?
Dobry wieczór wszystkim. Czuję się dobrze, tu jest fajny klimacik, jest to pewnie jakieś jedno z moich spełnień marzeń i uważam, że jest to miejsce odpowiednie dla mnie na tą chwilę i czuję się świetnie.
So you want me so I work for you.
Powiedziałem, że czuję się tutaj dobrze i że czuję, że jest to moje miejsce.
So he said thank you very much, and he's happy to be here, that he feels that's his place. He had also, I add this for him, he had a very short preparation too, and a big step up, and he told me earlier also that he's extremely excited, and yeah, we're happy to be here.
And I don't know, maybe if now you know you have any injuries from the fight, but when ideally would you like to return? You mentioned to me maybe around June. When would you ideally like to fight next for Octagon?
Yeah, he's ready for June, definitely.
Thank you.
Damian, my zaczniemy od szerokiego.
Question for Jan Shiroki. I think you are the first fighter who kissed the fingers of his opponent that actually punched him during the fight. But were there moments in the fight where you thought that you could take initiative? And where did you see the breaking point in the fight in it possibly going your way? I felt like I could take initiative all throughout the fight. I really kept an eye on things. I usually tend to get into things very quickly, especially in front of a home audience. So I was trying to pace myself. But this time I paced myself for too long, and I only really went into it in the third round. The first two rounds went to František for sure. But on the other hand, I tried to take him to the ground, but he defended my takedown attempts very well. He was a very strong opponent, and his tactics were on point. But until the last seconds, until like 14:59 on the clock, I was hoping for a win for myself. Even when he hit me, and it doesn't really happen that often, I don't really get punched so much that it shakes me up, and Fero has some strong punches, and even when I got a punch like that, I didn't think I was going to lose, because we have 15 minutes of time, and even when I'm losing for 14, I still believe in getting that win. Otherwise, I wouldn't be in the sport. We saw an interesting situation. You got shaken by his hit, and he tried to kick you, and I'm not sure what happened there. Was he able to finish you right then or not? I'm not sure. I'm not sure if he actually hit me with that kick. That's why we have the referees. If a referee saw a bad kick, an illegal kick, he would have penalized Feroz, and it didn't happen, so it was a legal kick then. Question for Vašek Klimča.
So then one for you and one for your colleague, yeah? Okay.
Áno, vlastne tvoj super dával do tých úderov veľa energie.
Your opponent had some strong kicks. I'm sure you felt that. As the fight went on, did you feel like he was losing his strength and that you maybe had more of a chance to turn it around? I did feel him waning away in the second and third round in his previous fights, but not tonight. I was hoping to turn the situation around later on, but you can see what my face looks like. You know what it ended up being like. He won, and I have no excuses. There's no excuse. It was just him being a better tactical fighter, and it was a well-deserved win. I hoped that my boxing would be better. I hoped that I would show a better ground game today, but unfortunately it wasn't my night, and I just wasn't good enough. Also, a question for Vašek. You've said several times that your opponent was better tactically, so what was your tactics? I was expecting him to try for double leg takedowns, and that his boxing wasn't going to be as complex as it was. I was expecting it to be a 1-2, but he went 1-2-3-4, and I haven't gotten shaken up by hits in a long time, but today I did. You could see my face looking the way it does, and that's life. He was better. I really am looking for an excuse to give you, but he was just better, that's it. I had too few beers, so now I gotta catch up.
Okay, so that's it for the first part of the press conference. We'll be back in a bit with the main card post-fight conference. Thank you very much.
He returns to the place where the support of his fans never falters.
King of Germany,
His challenger will be the unpredictable Octagon Underground winner and European Thai boxing champion.
Mighty Rooster, go!
Be there, Octagon 85. On March 7th, Barclays Arena, Hamburg. Tickets on sale now at octagontickets.de. World champions and their emotional stories. An electric atmosphere. An unforgettable experience. Octagon.
Dobrý večer a vítajte na...
Good evening and welcome to the press conference after Octagon 84.
Máme parádny štart za sebou.
We've had a great start.
Máme za sebou parádny štart roku.
This has been a great start to the year. We've had the first few years. The Ostrava tournament has been cool. Thank you all for taking part. Thank you to the fighters, to the fans, and to Team Octagon that did a great job tonight. As far as the Fantasy League, great news. 20,000 people are active. Over 10,000 people chose Ronnie PARADEISER to be their favorite. As far as Neruda Cup, GOAT has been the most successful company with 7 points thanks to Kozma and BRITO. And runner-up XTV. I would also like to thank all the fans. 40,000 people came over 3 tournaments this year, which is phenomenal. And it's quite a unique turnout for Europe. Thank you. You've been great. We look forward to the rest of the year. Thank you to Ostrava fans, even though it's been a rough night for you. But when you wanna play games, you gotta accept tough opponents, you gotta lose sometimes, and then you learn and go on. We haven't had a tournament that turned out so bad for the home fighters like it did tonight, but even so, you fans have been great. I think the title fight has been great, and Tipsport performance of the night goes to the champ, Kijk BRITO.
Thank you very much.
Again, it's not up to me. I'm just the voice who's saying that.
Question for Kijk BRITO. Can you explain how you're feeling after regaining the welterweight belt and getting the bonus?
Eu sou muito grato pela oportunidade de estar voltando aqui nesse evento, que eu amo muito e para mim é muito especial e não tem como me conter.
I'm
very thankful for being able to go back and be a part of this organization. I love it. Kijk, another question. Many people were surprised by your strategy because you are a known striker, but tonight you wrestled. Has this been your plan since the beginning, and were you surprised by how well it worked out? And can you tell us what surprised you about the fight?
Eu não sei porque as pessoas ainda duvidam de mim. Eu não consegui entender isso. Mas, com toda certeza, eu tenho várias ferramentas. Eu sabia que eu ia ter que usar contra o PARADEISER. E eu sei que ele é um ótimo lutador e eu precisei usar.
I don't
know why people keep doubting my skills. I'm a complete fighter. I can wrestle as well, and I had to use all of my weapons to get PARADEISER because he's a great fighter. In a few weeks, we're gonna see Gogoladze versus Sordu. Who would you like to see face off against you? Would you like a rematch or a new fight against Gogoladze?
Eu não tenho preferência de nenhum, eu só tô aqui para fazer meu trabalho e qualquer um que colocar na minha frente eu vou dar o meu melhor e é isso, eu sou o campeão e eu vou defender o que é meu.
I have no preferences. I'm the champ, and who you put in my way, I'll take care of. I'll just defend my title. Thank you. Question for Ronnie PARADEISER. Do you want to talk about how you're feeling after the fight and about how BRITO surprised you in tonight's fight? I feel like I should learn to say no before these fights. Because sometimes I can't do that. I have to accept fights, and I actually had appendicitis before this fight, and that's maybe a time that I should have said no to myself because I wasn't able to do anything for 4 weeks before being able to start up training again. But I always believe in myself. I always have faith about being able to pull through. And I felt great in the fight, but I could tell that my prep was spotty because of the lack of time. And he had better combos than me, like he had 1, 2, and more, and I should learn that more. I should sometimes say no to myself.
Were you surprised by the wrestling and by how fast he got on your back? But also a lot of respect for the defense on the RNC. I thought, wow, great. He's on my back. He will never finish me on an RNC, and that will help me I can actually dominate out of this. And then I thought, the second round is for me. I lost the first one, but I'm getting the second one. My movement was better in the second round. I knew I was actually gonna get there. My cardio was not all that great, but I knew I would dominate in the second round. I could see everything coming from him. It wasn't all that hard, but he hit me very cleanly on the ear. And when I was falling on the ground, I was still conscious, but still the referee made the right decision because he was supposed to protect my health. So I'm very happy that he did it. So actually what happened is correct, but still I was kind of, arguing that I was still in it. I wasn't unconscious, but then I just felt the hand of the referee, but I'm not going to argue about it now. You said you had an operation, you had surgery. Do you want to have a longer rest period, or would you like to fight as soon as in Bratislava? Would you like to come back, or when do you want to come back? Well, I'll try and be a bit more reasonable. I'll get my brain checked with a CAT scan. I'll have maybe 3 to 4 weeks with no sparrings. I'll take it very reasonably. Then I start training, and then I'll start thinking about what happens next. But Bratislava is very, very interesting for me. I'd like to fight there. I think they want me to fight there. So maybe yes, but we will see. Thank you. Another question for David Kozma. After more than 2 years, you got a win here in Ostrava. What are your emotions? It's amazing. It was just such a relief. I was afraid maybe if I get a KO, my career might be over. But I got that win, which was a huge relief for me. But the performance wasn't the best I could give you. Maybe it was 80% of what I can do. So I'm not all that euphoric. I wanted to get that finish, which I didn't manage to do. But, I know what to work on for the next fight. Right now I'm happy, but not completely happy. Were you happy about the defense of the Kimura? Was it tight? I could feel it going worse and worse. It really hurt me, and my leg also started hurting because he also had me locked by the leg. I also had issues with my knee quite recently, so that was bothering me, but I would not tap it out. It wasn't that. Yeah, I still felt it, but I'm happy I got out of it. Before the fight, you said you didn't want to accept the pressure of getting KO'd or, being close to the end of your career. Did you feel this in the dressing room, or did you get it out of your head? Yeah, I tried, but, a little bit of it still stayed in my head. But I was in a good headspace going into the fight. I wasn't thinking about it, but there was a lot of pressure from around me. You read the comments, everybody says, I'm gonna get KO'd, it's the end of my career, but I don't want to end my career. I'm a young guy. I want to keep going. Before the fight, you also said that you have a name that you would like to fight next. We also heard Andrej Brajšory calling you out. What do you think about that, and who would you like to fight? We'll wait with that a little bit. I need to think about it. I'll talk about it with my team, with Andre, my coach. I had a name in my head, but because I didn't show a perfect performance, I'm not gonna jump ahead of myself. I'll talk about it with my team. I'll get a vacation with Sarah and with the boys. Maybe 2-3 weeks. I'll just relax, and then we'll see what happens next. A question for the promoters now. What do you think about this? So, David Kozma was the pound-for-pound #1 for the longest time. So, what were your emotions when you were watching the fight and when you saw the win? It's emotional, just like every single time when you have guys who are with us for years and years. And you see that the people in the arena are standing up as he was walking out. And with David, we were there for his wins. We were there for his losses. It was very emotional. And then once again, seeing him walking out, coming back to the cage, it was, about not giving up, about facing your fear, and it's hugely inspirational just for us, for the fans, for everyone. I had goosebumps when he was walking out, and I was rooting for him. A question for Jakub Batvalsky. You were ill last weekend. Were you thinking about canceling the fight, or what was the nature of your illness? Well, I might still be ill. This morning I had a little training before the fight, but I was just coughing all through it. I thought, wow, that's a problem. I can't even go through one round without choking. But in the fight, I wasn't coughing. It was fine. I was lucky about that. But in the third round, you could actually tell. Usually my cardio is great, but unfortunately I had fevers as late as Monday. I had to stay in bed for a bit before the fight, and you could actually tell in the third round. Once again, a lot of respect for the way he finished the fight. It was very, very difficult as he was coming on to me in the third round. His striking was very, very powerful. I could feel it. I was thinking about maybe canceling the fight, but it would not be good for me. It's, a fight in front of my home crowd. I wasn't sure about what the promoters would say. Maybe they would not be happy about me canceling the fight. I just thought I have to get into this fight, and I need to get the win. And that happened. You're one of the 5 fighters from Fighting Club Ostrava who fought tonight. All of your teammates lost. Did you feel pressure that you need to get that win for your team? No, I felt no pressure. The only thing was that I was sad to see my friends lose. I was like, what's happening? But when I was walking out, I was just focusing on myself. I was hyping myself up to get over that illness, and I was going there to get the win for Ostrava, and I got it. I think the first 2 rounds were very technical for me, and in the third round I could maybe ease off a little bit because I knew I was getting that win, and I didn't want to get knocked out, or I didn't want to lose. If there are any questions for Ronnie, please ask them now because he needs to go to the doctor. I have a question for Ronnie. We already said that BRITO started wrestling with you. Did you plan to fight on the ground? No, it wasn't my plan. I wanted to have a striking fight. Maybe I could try it. But I knew he's a black belt. He's very good on the ground. But I didn't consider it to be a huge risk. I wasn't really too scared of his wrestling. You also mentioned that you were fine with the referee stepping in, finishing that fight. At that moment, you were not happy. So, did you watch it back and now you change your mind? Well, I think you need to get into the role of the referee. I understood the way he decided. I got a huge hit. The sound of it was huge. I knew I was fine. I was just on the ground, but then I saw it from the side that the opponent is coming. So I started defending myself, and I could just feel the referee stopping the fight. And he did it correctly. A question for Ronnie. BRITO was doing a lot of those spinning hits, maybe 5 times. Why did he hit you on the 6th time? Well, I was supposed to pay more attention. It was my technical mistake. But that happens when you're fighting. What about your cardio? Did you feel like you had enough in the tank for the upcoming rounds? Well, I think I said something in the videos, but it's just a promo and the reality is something different. Of course, I was getting ready to be able to have all those 5 rounds. But I had broken finger, then I had the appendicitis, and then I couldn't train for a while. So I'm happy with where I was. I was pushing him. I was doing the right thing. I was actually pressuring him. I was feeling quite good in that fight. But then he just caught me with that hit, and much respect to him.
I have a similar question. Thank you, all my fans. I love Octagon, and I'll see you next time. I really like that approach, you starting with the fact about you getting rest now.
Na Kejka Brita podobná otázka, vlastne ako sa...
Similar question for Kijk Brito. How did you feel physically when you finished Ronnie? And did you feel like you were getting a good hold on that choke there?
Se você achou que aquele estrangulamento poderia se suceder bem?
Eu tava super bem, só que teve 2 semanas passadas eu machuquei o ombro e provavelmente eu não consegui ter força naquele momento, mas nada para reclamar, porque eu tenho várias armas e com toda certeza, se fosse pro outro lado, eu conseguiria terminar a luta ali. Mas, enfim, nenhum lutador consegue chegar numa luta 100% e eu sempre passei por isso. E eu tenho tantas ferramentas que isso não me preocupou. Eu já imaginei que iria ter que finalizar ele ali pro 4º, 5º round, mas graças a Deus deu antes.
I felt good. Unfortunately, 2 weeks ago, I injured my shoulder, so I had to really come out with all the guns blazing. I had to use everything that I had in store, and I was planning on it going into the 4th or 5th round, but thankfully it got ended earlier. Another question for Kijk Brito. You really tried for the spinning hits. Is that something that you thought would work on Ronnie PARADEISER, or did you just decide in the moment to try for that?
Foi uma estratégia contra a PARADEISER concretamente?
Não foi uma técnica, não foi específico para ele, não. Eu sou um atleta que, assim como eu lutei com Kozma, assim que eu luto com qualquer adversário, eu sempre vou apresentar várias técnicas, vários especiais, né, que eu gosto de chamar.
This wasn't a part of a specific plan against PARADEISER. I would have tried this against Kozma, against anybody else. This is just a part of my arsenal. Question for David Kozma. This was your first fight under Reinder's MMA gym. We all expected it to be a more technical prep, a more technical fight. So do you think that's what you brought tonight? Yeah, this was the main thing. But unfortunately, I wasn't able to put to fruition some of the striking techniques that I wanted to. I made some mistakes on the ground we trained for something that I wasn't able to make come true. But I just really wanted to win. I didn't want to open myself during that ground and pound and get him into a position where he could finish me by submission. I really wanted to get that winning streak back, and that was the most important thing, and now I'll have place to train for the more complex things. Question for Josef Whitner. There are no fans that would be rooting for you less than standing in Ostrava facing off against Kozma. So, did that make you feel a certain way, and could you talk to us about it, standing in front of people who are rooting for you to fail? Yeah, it was hard to prepare for this. I really tried to focus on myself solely. I didn't even say hi to the people, not because I didn't want to, but because it was hard. I had a month to prepare. David was on a break, and I'm sure this was a career-changing fight for him. I really wanted to show what I trained for. I wanted to make a good show, a good fight, and the details were what decided the thing. As I said, I gave it my all. I went in with my heart. I really didn't want to end on a decision. I wanted to finish it, and it didn't work out for me tonight. Question for Tomáš Mudroch. I'll ask you about that moment where you had that reverse triangle locked in and your opponent was clutching onto the cage, which he got deducted a point for. Could you talk to us about that cage catching? Yeah, he's a little weasel. No, I'm just kidding. Fedor is 21 years old. I'm just joking about him being a cheater. No, he had an answer to everything that I threw at him, to every grappling situation. He is a mature fighter for how young he is. And Fedor, if you get the title, I'll go and get it from you. Fedor has a great team supporting him. He's a quality fighter, and I'm glad that I was able to fight him. Kuba was sick, and I was also sick, and I don't want to make excuses, but my opponent was sitting on my chest, basically, after the first round. And that reverse triangle could have worked out. That would have been another highlight in my books, but Fedor was very well prepped, he defended it well, and tip of the hat. I'm sure that this is still fresh, but how do you feel about that loss tonight? Do you feel like this is gonna kick you back into motion? I mean, I did give it a good cry. I'm 27, but I cried like a girl. But I have a great wife, a healthy boy, and I have to really give appreciation to Fedor because he spoke so well about my wife and my kid, and I'm sure that he's gonna be a great dad one day, unless he is already a dad, I'm not sure. But I'm sure he will be a great dad, and I really appreciate his words. I respect my opponent. Fedor, you are great. But if you get the title, I'll go for it.
Okay, I will also ask Fedor Duric for that exact moment when opponent was trying to get you with that inverted triangle or reverse triangle. You were grabbing the cage, but was the technique anywhere near to finish the fight?
I was leaning forward. I tried to not grab the cage, but as I tried it, I fell forward and my fingers were still in, and the referee pulled my hands, and then right afterwards I pulled it out, and reverse triangle was in, but it wasn't deep. I could breathe, and Thomas was heavy. It was hard keeping in the air the whole time, but I knew his legs will essentially get tired and he'll let go of it, and that's what exactly happened.
You've been proving us for some time that you are a very technical fighter, as Tomáš mentioned, at only 21 years old. So is there any other particular name you would like to face next?
Of course, I'm interested in a title fight. I know the... Oh, I should have spoken German, I forgot. As I said, there's title fight, and I respect both guys. I'm very happy that I won my fight and can potentially fight for the title. So, as I said, much respect to both guys, and let's see who wins, and why not fight for the title.
Thank you, appreciate it. Zeptám se Matěje Kuzníka, tvoje utkání.
Question for Matěj Kuzník. Your fight with Hafeni Nafuka was seen as two grapplers facing off. So could you talk to us more about what happened? First of all, I would like to say that I'm very disappointed about how tonight went. But on the other hand, I talked to Andre after the fight, and I came to the conclusion that I could really be grateful for how it ended up, because I was also sick, just like everybody else, 5 times since December. And no, it's not excuses, like you said, Tomáš. I flew to Thailand, I got sick, then I came back, I got a staph infection. Please don't do what I did. I wasn't able to defend any takedown attempts, any takedowns. I'm usually used to being the one tossing the people around, and I was just too slow, and now I'm sad, but I'll be happy again, and I'll be back in the gym training. I want to get a new fight, and I want to fight. Thank you. I've already asked 2 people from Fighting Club Ostrava, so this question goes to Tomáš Modroch and Kuba Batvalský. How did you feel about there being so many representatives from your gym, and do you feel like your coaches were under more pressure with so many of you being here? And were you able to watch the previous fights of your teammates? You've answered this a bit, so could Tomáš talk to us about it? I was actually gonna tell Kuba to talk about it because I've got some hard hits. I hoped you were gonna say some words first. I don't care, bro. All right, start. I didn't feel like it was limiting. I was mentally ready for it. There were a lot of us in there. And of course, when we were warming up, I was really getting some of the sadness from my teammates, but I was trying to focus in on my fight, and unfortunately the Ostrava Express didn't leave the station tonight. I got hit by a different train. The coaches were running all over the place, but they do need it. They do need the movement because when they're teaching, they don't really get to move around that much. So yeah, at least they're not going to be overweight.
I was sad to see the other guys losing. I was sad about it, but I was hoping to actually break that spell. And I also believed in Tomáš. I'm very sorry for Tomáš that he didn't get that win, because we really worked hard during the preparation. And it's a shame that he lost. I'm sorry about it. Thank you, man. I'll give you 500 crowns tomorrow for that. Thanks, man. One last question for the promoters. We were in Ostrava after quite some time, and even before the first fight, the arena was almost full. So what did you think about that when you had some issues with the ticket sales lately, or in the previous events here? Well, no, there were no real issues. We had issues once, and that was at a time when there were too many tournaments taking place in this town. You had events every single week, they were being cancelled, there were so many organizations. You know, people were a little bit tired. We also had an event here twice a year. And even we sometimes lose, and we know how to learn a lesson. But Ostrava always delivers. And you could see that. Unfortunately, tonight, it was unlucky for the locals. Of course, they were hoping for different results, but, you know, that's what happens. We were just happy to deliver that happiness to them. Well, Zavichak was 2 or 3 punches from a win, which was a huge performance. Unfortunately, he didn't start sooner. And it was a huge stress seeing Adam Havran lose the first fight in the huge arena. That's always a shock when you see that loss. But we're happy that Kozma and Batfal got the wins. The fans here are amazing, we know that, and that's why we come back. We like it.
Maske, Frage an Fedor, nochmal zu dieser auch Punktabzug.
A question for Fedor. Let's go back to the points deduction. You were on that case, so were you thinking about the situation? Did that change your mindset at that point? Yeah, I checked my corner at that point. I was like, why are they deducting a point? I was asking them, and then I thought, okay, so I probably lost this round, or it's 50-50, so I need to start working in the next round with even more energy. And at that point, I felt even more aggression in me, and I just wanted to get that finish. And after the first takedown in the second round, he was a bit weaker, but it just didn't work out in the end.
Piotr Jarosz did amazing work. Yeah, that's how I would love to see all judges score this situation like this, because it was definitely, and I don't mean it bad against you, but it was something what judges should to do every time they see it. Yeah, because every fighter knows that there's like moments when you put the fingers, and especially here it was like maybe for 6-7 seconds to the cage, it can totally change the situation. So I love this judging, and I really value that what Piotr Jarosz did. And like I said, it's nothing against Fedor. I would love to, if he will do it against Tomáš. Yeah.
Da würde ich direkt noch anschließen. Ich meine, du hast jetzt einen großen Sieg über Tomáš Mutoch geholt. Im Vorhinein haben viele gesagt, das ist so dieser Kampf, auf den sich die meisten Leute freuen. 8-1 gegen 8.
Now you got the win against Tomáš Mutoch, Fedor. It's a huge win for you, but what does it actually mean for you getting a win like this, especially in Ostrava? Right now, you might be thinking that you could beat anyone, like, you just did with Tomáš Mudroch. I'm convinced that I was born for this sport. And I don't really know how to say this, but Tomáš is a tough opponent. He's also very heavy. I think he weighed like 90 kilos. And that really motivates me. And it motivates me to keep going, and I can't wait what's next for me. Another question, you said you want to fight for the title. So what do you think about that? Who's gonna win?
Danke dir. Und dann Frage an Affini.
I don't really know.
Seit dem Sieg, ich meine, du bist ein sehr, sehr emotionaler Mensch. Wie blickst du jetzt zurück auf diesen Kampf?
Hafeni, it's been a few hours since your fight. So what do you think about that fight, looking back at it? Was it important for you? Yeah, it was definitely important for me. It was really difficult. It was important for me to get that win again after the losses, getting that win against a very experienced fighter. Matěj Kuzník, he's from Czech, he's from Ostrava. I'm very happy I got that win. And now you also had Michael deiga-scheck in your corner. He said you will only be striking for 2 minutes or he's gonna get mad. So did you plan that? Or what was your game plan, actually? When I'm standing up for too long, Deiga is very mad at me. And yeah, this time my game plan was to keep it as a striking fight. And then I went for the takedown, and I got the finish. So I'm very happy about that. Yeah, it was perfect from start to finish. I have a question for Jožo. We already heard about the Kimura, but why didn't it work out? I was holding his hand through the glove, and he moved his wrist, and it was over for me then. But maybe if I had held him a little bit stronger, it might have worked out, but no ifs. It just didn't work out. Another question. Your gym is under the BP Institute. It's one of the biggest gyms. How is it training for them? Yeah, I have great conditions there. It's a step up for me. I don't have to travel all the time like I did when I was in Slovakia. I'm very happy for the main coach for giving me that opportunity. I had some tough times, I had some injuries, but I'm still trying to work on myself. Now I'm healthy, but the result wasn't the one I expected. We keep on going. A question for Jakub. You had a special walkout here for Ostrava. It was by Hard Rico. He's also from Ostrava. He's a rapper. So what does that mean for you? It's great that he gave me such a huge banger. You can listen to that on the internet. I can't wait for that song to come out so that people can listen to it. And, people in Ostrava, they'll just go, I'll eat you up like Butfall, like in the lyrics.
Frage an Fedor. Ich habe bisschen dich angeguckt im PK.
A question for Fedor. You keep holding your shoulder. Are you injured or is there anything wrong with that? Yeah, there's a little bit of pain when I raise my hand up. Might have been an issue during the fight, but I don't know when it happened.
Many fans were wondering, after this fight, who do you fight next? What do you think of a potential Legends fight with someone like Christian Eckerlin, who fights in a couple weeks, potentially in a stadium at the end of the year?
As I said, I need to think on this. I'll talk about it with my team. I'll relax for a few days, then I'll talk with my team, and we will see what's next for me. I can't really tell you who I will fight next. We will leave that decision until later.
And just my final question to the promoters. To start the year, 3 sold-out shows, and the ticket sales don't look like they're stopping anytime soon. Stevenice has already sold 50% of the tickets, so just how happy are you about the start of 2026, and how excited are you for the rest of 2026?
Yeah, it's unbelievable, I have to say. Like, Hamburg is next month, and it's like 500 tickets left. Then we got Szczecin, There's half of it or something like this. Like you said, Štvanice right now it's almost 70% after this night. So for stadium it's more than 20,000 tickets sold. So it's unbelievable. It's an unbelievable start for this year, and it's a perfect sign that we are doing something right. And we got plenty of aces in our pocket for this year, for 10th anniversary. And we will bring them and we will enjoy this crazy life.
And I would also like to say that it's not going just by itself. Like it's really like 40 people in marketing team. It's like tens of people in video production, and it's really a lot of people working hard on this. And we many times are brainstorming the ideas how to sell the tournaments, how to bring the value for fans and make it more interesting and attract them and make them want to be there, bring people to watch on RTL and Octagon TV and other platforms. So it's also like a lot of work. Even if it looks like it's go by itself, it's really hard work of our people, which we are very proud of.
Ešte pár rýchlych otázok na záver, ak môžem. Prvá je na promotérov.
I have a few questions. The first one is for the promoters. What are the next plans for Josef Whitner? He's back in Octagon, but do you have a long-term contract? We do have a long-term contract with him. I think he showed a great performance. Of course, Kozma is very hard to get from underneath. And of course, the overhand at the beginning shook what happened after, and I'm sure he wanted to keep on striking. Physically, he would have been able to. He had some stuff under control. He was able to keep getting up. He's had 4 hard fights. So I don't think this is a career-changing thing. He has a future here, and we're counting on him.
Neľutuješ možno spätne, že nechcem povedať zadarmo, ale že jednoducho ťa David v niektorých momentoch dostal na zem, že ako keby si mohol možno lepšie niečo pripraviť z tých...
Do you think that you would have been able to, or should have been able to get prepared in some situations? Honestly, when the takedown came, I was like, should I sprawl or what should I do? I was just too hesitant. I should have acted. I shouldn't have been hesitating and thinking about what to do. I knew that he wasn't going to finish me. I knew that I was gonna be able to respond, but he was tough, he was heavy, and it's hard to get up from there. But of course, yeah, there was the overhand and the Kimura as well. There wasn't a lot left from changing the result. But unfortunately, what happened. The devil's in the details. I'm just glad about being able to fight here in Ostrava. And I'll keep working on myself. I'll try and keep putting on the best performances. I'm healthy, I'm uninjured, and I'm very grateful. And I'm grateful to be back in the game. This is a thing of the heart. I was out for 2 years, and I was so fucking mad about that. I was pissed off. And yeah, like Kozma lost 4 times, I also did. But who were the people we lost against? I knew that he wasn't going to KO me, but there's no talking about a weak chin in this cake, in this game. You know, like, people have hard hits here, and getting somebody to sleep isn't that easy. Moving on to David, today was about takedowns. Did you feel in your prep that your chin was strong enough that it was going to be able to withstand the hard hits this time? I knew that I would keep going on, of course. When we sparred, I of course got some hits and I could withstand it. My mental coach and me worked on being stronger. My chin is holding on as it should, and nobody's gonna be able to put me to sleep from now on. And how did you manage to do that, to make that chin strong? We have different techniques, but I'll keep that to myself. Were you surprised about going for the takedowns without getting a hit right before that? And did you feel like it was very easy for you at the beginning? Well, I could throw him around at first very easily, so I thought I'll just try it again. I felt like it was easy, so I just kept going for them. And yeah, I could just throw him around. It was cool, I could throw him to the ground. I kept him under control on the ground. And I did want to do some more striking, but unfortunately that was unable to come to fruition. But then when I won, the stress, the pressure just broke. We've seen a lot of people who have had their lows but then came back on top like Robopukac. Do you feel like this is the same for you? Like you're back and gonna go back to the top? Yeah, of course. I had to win this fight and it put me back on the winning streak is what I believe. Now me and my team are gonna work on some stuff and I'm gonna go for the next win. And yeah, the title is still in my head. I'm still thinking about it. It's still a goal and it's something that I'm gonna go for. Am I gonna get the title? That's a question for the future, but I'm gonna give it my best and I'm gonna keep on working on myself and winning fights and I'll go for that title shot. I'm motivated and I wanna keep winning. And I believe that I'll be able to. And we'll be rooting for you. Question for Jakub Batwalski. This is the last question. Your opponent had the betting odds of 12 before the last round. So did you feel like you really were so confident in getting the win before the third round? Do you think that those betting odds were rightfully there? I did not watch out for the betting odds when I was in the cage, but I did know that I was winner when I was going into the third round. I knew I was winning the first two. Thanks. Thank you too. All right. I feel like the guys who have their girlfriends here will try and save Valentine's Day, and the rest of us will go pack up. We'll see you guys in Hamburg. Thank you very much.
He returns to the place where the support of his fans never falters.
King of Germany!
His challenger will be the unpredictable Octagon Underground winner and European Thai boxing champion.
Mighty Rooster, go!
Be there, Octagon 85. On March 7th, Barclays Arena, Hamburg. Tickets on sale now at octagontickets.de.